All right. Hi. And thank you for joining me. This is Shishi Snacks. And I'm back again. Okay. So this is my third time. Something doesn't want me to get this message out, but I'm going to get it out anyway. Okay. So the first time I tried to do this, I got love is the answer. The second time I tried to do it, love is the answer. The third time I tried to do it, love is the answer. And it fell one time and it fell again. So this would be the second time uh that this card fell. So this reading is going to be about love. Okay? Let's find out what is going on with our collective. Well, let's ask Archangel Michael to shield me and my collective with your light. I ask you, Archangel Michael, to fill this space with your band of mercy angels so that nothing outside can get in. Okay? This reading is going to happen. We're not going to start all over again, okay? We're not going to start all over again. First, I want to go here and I want to find out okay, relationship issues, okay? So, we're going to be talking about relationship issues. What is it that my uh collective needs to know about relationship issues? What is it? Okay, well, two fell out. Let's see. Well, this is a all right. Let's see. Let's get to it. Okay, blessings in abundance for you. Be open to receiving. Okay, that's a side message. Okay, so I see that in your relationship issues, you might be feeling uncomfortable with your partner, okay? Because your partner might be a little bit too investigative about you. But also, you do have somebody else out there that is definitely actively always driving by your house, okay? Driving by, could be in the other neighborhood, always driving by. What I want you to start doing is I want you to start shielding your energy, okay? Because these drive-bys, what they do is they come and then they pull on your chakra, okay? Because they are absolutely unhappy with themselves, okay? So you do have a secret admirer out there. And the secret admirer slash psycho knows that you are receiving transformation. So you're going through a transformation, okay? So I understand it if you feel like, like you want to be alone, what's going on here, age issues, okay? So the person that, has a little crush on you might be too old for you or too young. Okay, we're gonna find out. Okay, let's go with love is the answer. Let's see. Let's go with love is the answer because that's a positive card, isn't it? Let's go with love is the answer. What's going on with love? Okay, well, here it is. Okay, trying to project a perfect image, but it's not really who you are, okay? It's not who you are, okay? It's okay to be imperfect. And see, so many people strive for perfection, but I'm sorry to say that the only perfect, you know, man has ever walked on this earth is God. Now I said worked, is Jesus. I said worked. So some of you might be, having to change who you are so you could fit in at work. But this is it, okay? Once you reach your transformation, because you're at a moment of transformation, you could be trying to figure out who you are, okay? Well, who you are is who you are. Okay, there's a lot of people walking around with what is it, identity crisis. Okay, so some people, you might notice that some people that try to shadow you, try to be like you are who you are. You have to claim your identity in subversion identity. You have to claim it. Sometimes you might have to call yourself back to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because there's so much projection going on that sometimes you get lost in the sauce, as well as they could get lost in the sauce. Okay. But the good thing about sauce is that there's soap and water. Okay. All right. All right. So let's see. Let's see. I see that that you have a lot of people coming at you right now. It's a lot. It's a lot. You have a lot of people coming at you right now, okay? And it's a lot. So it's really hard to, harness who you are when everybody else is trying to harness who you are. But they really don't know who you are, okay? Let's talk about that. They really don't know who you are, okay? Some of them might be mad that they're not you, okay? You might notice that your partner tries to be you. That's a narcissist. That's a personality disorder, okay? You probably don't have problems except the environment and the people around you. But in the name of Jesus, I will not be harmed by the assaults of others. I plead the blood of Jesus over this. Start pleading the blood of Jesus, okay? So let's find out what's going on with the relationship issues, okay? Because that seems to be like something that is blocking you. That's blocking you, okay? It's blocking you. I see, that somebody is sending you mixed signals, okay? They're sending you mixed signals, okay? Or you're sending them mixed signals, okay? You don't let others know you are interested. Flirt and be approachable. Okay? Flirt and be approachable. All right? It's probably something that you are not used to. You know what I mean? Because the spirit of Jezebel is everywhere. It's in men and it's in women, okay? But it's we got to rebuke that. That's not what we're doing. Okay. All right. Everybody has a past. Everybody has a past. Everybody has a past. Right? So there's no shame in that. There's no shame in that. Just because you have a past does not mean that you are not worthy of love, okay? Because you are working on the inside of yourself, okay? You're working on the inside of yourself, okay? A lot of you are working on your past trauma. We all have trauma from the past, but then we also might have that person who doesn't want to let go. All right. Oh, that one. That one. Yeah, that one. Okay. Okay, so you're healing your past trauma. Okay? You're healing your past trauma But it seems like there's somebody who wants you to be receiving trauma, okay? And it seems like because you are healing your past trauma, there's somebody that doesn't want to let you go because they are stuck in the past. And this is gonna be, this is sort of like counseling right now. Here we go, okay? Ambivalent, okay? You say you want a lover, but you're not all in. Take time to figure out what you want. Don't jump into these relationships, okay? Don't jump into these relationships. Don't, sometimes people think that they just want a lover just so they're not alone. That's not a relationship, okay? It's not a relationship. That's not the way that it is supposed to be, okay? Love is something that is, it should all come natural. It should all come natural. You know what I mean? Like, it should be a natural attraction. You should not have to force it. You know, if you're confused about it, you can go to God. But let's see. Okay, so I can see that whoever you are, you're getting mixed signals. Okay, you're giving the mixed signals. You're giving the mixed signals, and you have somebody who is trying to really give you love, for real. Okay, but they might just be being quiet. All right, because you give mixed signals or you're getting mixed signals. Okay, all right. And a lot of you think it's too hard. You believe that it has to be hard. It does not have to be hard. Let's talk about real, what's really going on. It does not have to be hard. It's not supposed to be hard. You know what I mean? But it's hard when you're alone and you're going through all of these things and you got people, you don't know who to trust, basically, because it seems like everybody's a snake. But that's not the case, okay? Because love is the answer. Love is the answer. It's about self love. Self love, okay? Self love first. First, you have to heal, or you have to heal. You have to heal first, okay? And it's not hard. It should, well, healing is hard. I shouldn't have said it's not hard. Healing is hard, okay? It is hard. But it should not be hard to love. It should not be hard. If you're overdoing in the relationship and you're the one who's giving and you're the one who's, you know, saying all the sorries and the please and the thank you when you're not getting it in return, red flag, baby. Red flag. All right. But let's see. Oh my goodness. Okay. Too attached. Okay. Sometimes, just that sometimes it's hard. Some people get so attached to you. You know what I mean? I'm not into attachments. I don't know. Are you into attachments? Yeah, they get too attached, okay? Because they're scared. They're afraid. They're so scared. If you go to the bathroom, they're like, what are you doing? Are you talking to somebody? Can you leave the door open? If you go to take a walk, oh my God, they got their binoculars like two step. No, 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 no. No, that is a red flag, okay? That is a red flag. And if it is the collective that is too attached, okay, you're gonna have to work inward, because the truth is, if you can't trust him or you can't trust her, then believe people are the way that they are when they show you who they are. Words could be everything. You know what I mean? But if they're showing you that you're not, that they're putting everything, above you, you know, actions do speak louder than words. And that's the truth in a relationship. But sometimes when, a person in a relationship become too attached, then it doesn't feel like a relationship. It doesn't feel like it's your soulmate anymore. It feels like it's your cellmate. Run, run. And a lot of times that people get so attached because they've been hurt so bad. They've been hurt so much that they want to make sure, that, do you love me? Do you love me? Do you love me? Do you love me? No. Do you love you? Do you love you? If you are not loving yourself, it's time to do some self-love. See, some people try to get in relationships too fast, okay? Love is the answer. Love is the answer. But self-love is the first thing. Took a long time to realize that, but self-love, that's where it starts. You have to have self-love, okay? Now, let's see what's going on. What's going on? Oh, whoa. Hold on. Okay, I see that it's lust, not love, okay? It's lust, not love, okay? This is a bad thing. It's lust, not love, okay? Because it's somebody that, if they're just always wanting one thing, that's not love. I mean, but okay, passion. You can have passion, okay? You can have passion and you can be attracted to your mate. There you're supposed to be. But there's a difference between, there's a difference between, uh, you know, if it's not love, okay, and they just want to get in bed every time they see you, and every time you call them, they're too busy, okay, or or you're too busy, you're making yourself too busy. Oh, I gotta do this first, I gotta do that first before you decide to say yes. It's okay to go on a date. You know what I'm saying? You could take precautions when you go out on a date. You know what I'm saying? Meet at a public place, okay? And put a timer on the table and say, you cannot leave here. Oh, I had a great time, but here, I brought a gift for you. Get a salt, one of those salt time things, and turn it, okay? And tell them, do not leave here until this salt runs out. All right? That's also self-cock blocking. Okay? If you're the type that just jumps in, or he's the type that just jumps in, shake it up a little bit. Okay? Sometimes being salty is not a bad thing. No, it's sand. It's sand, not salt. If you feel like he's a creep, carry a bag of salt, throw it in his face. No, don't do that. I'm sorry. Okay. All right. So let's see who's being guarded. Somebody's being guarded because they're lonely, and somebody doesn't want to open up to open up because they have a fear of cheating, that they're always being cheated on. Okay, because the truth is that they're not really committed. They're not committed. Okay, because they're constantly criticizing you. You know what I'm saying? They fell in love with who you are on the outside, not on the inside. They think you're eye candy, right? But right, so there it's probably it's a narcissist. It's a narcissist. It's a narcissist. Run, because they're too attached, okay? And you know, just because the last one didn't doesn't mean that you have to spend your life in a brick house with uh with iron gates and a moat filled with alligators. A very low moat. A low moat, like, where you just I love you, step on an alligator. That's how we guard our hearts, right? That's why we guard our hearts. We have to start looking at the bigger picture, okay? And the bigger picture, that if somebody is always criticizing you, okay, if they're not committed to you, okay, and I'm not talking about a 3-month thing. I'm not talking about a 2-week thing. You know what I'm saying? Unless you met that one. But I see that they're being cold. They're being cold. And maybe they have you mistaken as unapproachable. Unapproachable. Why? Because it's so hard, right? It's hard. It's hard. It's hard to see who the stalker is. It's hard to see who the narcissist is. It's hard to see who the honeypot is. Lord have mercy. Okay, so we've come to the conclusion that there's no good ones. There's no good ones, but they see that you're a good one. Okay, I don't know who I'm talking to yet. I gotta see who I'm talking to. Who am I talking to? Let me see. I need a face. I need a face. But I can tell you that they are comparing. You have somebody who is always comparing them to themselves to you. Okay, it's like they gotta know. They gotta know. They gotta know. Okay, no, they don't. And if the person is comparing you to another person, that's not your person. Okay, that's not your person. And you're not fated to be alone, but you might be just fated to walk away from that type of, person. You might have to walk away. It's not personal, it's spiritual. Okay? Wow. Hold on, let me find out. Cuz I still see that love is the answer. And I do see the age issues. Okay, let me and the being guarded. We got to find out. We got to see. All of those things, will block somebody. It'll block somebody. Okay? And you are not into being a victim, but you might have someone around you that is constantly always a victim. Always a victim. Okay? And maybe you feel like, in your relationships, why the relationship issues is because, they people view you you know, you feel helpless. Let's get to it, okay? You feel helpless to change your love life. But the truth is that you can change whenever you want. In this card, I see this girl, she's looking up and she's so hurt. And she, is looking for an answer. But the thing is that, she's rushing into things. She's rushing into things, you know she's she's it forces you to have your guard up. It does. Okay, it forces you to keep your guard up. And I think that there's somebody that does not like your boundaries because they are too needy. They're too needy, too needy, too needy, always needing something. Energy, always needing something. Okay, let me tell you something. Divine feminine or divine masculine. Okay, you do not have to tolerate abuse. Okay, you don't have to tolerate abuse. Okay, there's some of these Jezebels nowadays, they come with other spirits. It's not just the spirit of Jezebel. Okay, they're narcissists. A lot of narcissists carry the spirit of Jezebel. Okay, and those double-handed compliments. You look good today, but you're smart. But I know somebody that's, like Einstein. All those things. That's being a victim. So you you have to take time by yourself. Okay? You have to take some time by yourself. And if you're the one who is always like, you have to be on their back, you don't. You don't. If it's you don't have to be. That's called jealousy. And a lot of people think that jealousy is love. They mistake jealousy for love, okay? It's not okay for somebody to abuse you. It's not okay for somebody to give you double-handed compliments. That's like somebody masterminding you, thinking that you are dumb. You're not dumb. You're not dumb. You may be cute as a button. You may be as sweet as a dove, but you're not stupid. Abuse in any way is intolerable. That should be a very big non-negotiation. It's non-negotiable. I will not allow you to abuse me. Okay? And see, part of it is because people feel they feel entitled. Okay? They feel entitled. They feel entitled to drive by your house. They feel entitled to speak on you. They feel entitled to watch you. They don't understand that it is a privilege to be around an earth angel. It is a privilege to be around the chosen. Set your boundaries. And if they don't like it, leave. Or make them leave. Your peace, your self-esteem, your right. See, They're not entitled to treat you like nothing. They're not entitled. And oh, but I love him. But I love her. No, honey, let me tell you something. Okay? What they really want, sex only, okay? That's what they want, sex. They'll sweet talk you. But if they walk away after they're done, it's sex only. And then call you back later. Hey! 5 days later, 6 days later. No, honey. Run. All right? Stop being so needy. Hold on. Gotta put my gospel back on. Give me 1 second. Yeah, stop being so needy, okay? Stop being so needy. And here it is. They're taking advantage of you because they find you vulnerable. They find you vulnerable, okay? And that's the victim part. Ooh, I got to get this heater. That's the victim part, being a victim, okay? You're tolerating abuse by somebody who just wants sex. If it's not what you want, just sex. That is everywhere. Okay? And let's see. I see a lot of resentment. A lot of resentment. Okay? Pent up anger. Okay? Pent up anger because, you know, the person that you are trying to please, the person that you are trying to always please, the person that you are always trying to, you know, always giving your heart, giving your giving your mind, giving your, you know what I'm saying? That is just they can't make up their mind. They can't make up their mind. If they can't make up their mind whether they want to be a good person and be a real man or a real woman, then it's time to let go. Why should you have all this goodness inside of you? Why should you have all this goodness inside of you and be taken for granted? Okay? Because somebody that is trying to being so needy and always being a victim and just, you know, got being guarded, not being guarded, being, you know, being, you know, in indecision, excuse me, indecision, you know, after they're done, then they're like, oh, well, you know, you're lonely. Honey, can you come over? You know, I have a problem. If they never want to listen to your pain, right? If they don't want to not listen to your pain, because everybody needs somebody to talk to, right? They don't want to listen to that. If they're stage exit left and they're not listening because they're not valuing who you are as a person, that you need conversation. You need more than just, hey, can I come over? What you doing? Oh, okay, I'll be there. I'll be right there. I'll be there. Yeah, you done cooked dinner. You done You know, got some rose petals laid out on the floor. Got a good book that you two want to read, that you want to read. You want to have some intellectual conversation to get you warmed up. And they don't see none of it. They walk right past all of it. Like, yeah, I get this treatment all the time. That's not your one. That's not yours. Okay? Now you're in decision. You're in decision. You're probably wondering, I see a couple of, do you have, how, wait, you got some suitors? It's not just one. Oh, shoot. As I said that, the boundaries card went to age issues. But what happened is it spun 3 times. So you must have 3 people. Oh, or he must have 3 people. Wait a minute. Hold on a minute. You're going to have to give, and it's a natural thing. You feel like you're losing yourself. You are losing yourself in the relationship. You don't feel like you. You feel like, you want to get on my back? Because I'm going to the bathroom. You want to get on my back? You feel like, I'm going to go wash the dishes. Do you want to get on my back? I, I I'm going to go for a walk. You want to get on my back? Run from that one. You need to find yourself, honey. You got to find yourself. You're losing yourself. You're losing yourself. Somebody is confused. And you're probably wondering, why do I always attract these? Why am I attracting these? Why I keep attracting these? Why I keep attracting these? Never want you to be who you are. Never want you to even have a moment to yourself. Call you on the phone 50 times a day. I know that it's nice to receive phone calls. But for somebody to call you 50 times a day, unless that's what you like. But how can you find yourself? You got him on, he's on your back, she's on your back. You don't have time to think of for yourself. You don't. You need to, either if you're this person or this person is involved with you, you gotta do something. Do something. You got to do something to know who you are. And how can you know who you are when everybody is in your stuff? These people, let's get to it. almost want to run into your hold on, maybe it's not worth the risk, you think, to walk away. It's not worth the risk. It's too risky to walk away, to get out of that psychological thing and walk away. Because at the end of the day, you are the goal. Okay? Now I see what I'm picking up on is a lot of trickery. A lot of trickery. It could be somebody that you have, like your baby daddy or your baby mama. You know what I mean? It's somebody. But somebody's using a tool, a kid, as a tool. As a tool. As a tool. Babies are not tools. Okay? Babies are not pieces. They're not dolls. Okay? They are very, very, very vulnerable. Okay? They're very vulnerable. So when somebody plays a baby against the other person that loves them, I'm talking to either a feminine or a divine that has a child and a parent that loves them very much. But there is someone that is too got these anger issues. Got these anger issues. You don't have to be with the father or the mother of your child, but you do owe your child the best possible choice that you have to make. It's time to grow up. It's time to get rid of that cold, dark, empty heart and go inside and heal for your child. Because you know your child is not supposed to be subjected to all this type of behavior. It's time to grow up. It is time to grow up. You cannot make the child suffer, and they will suffer even though you're being selfish. It's selfish. It's taking advantage. You're taking advantage. But I want to let you know something. The person in your the person that you keep procrastinating around about, and I think this is where love is the answer. Love is the answer to your problems. These are all the things that are blocking you from knowing who you are, because you're trying to get into these relationships too soon, because somebody told you a lie about yourself and you believed it, that you were unlovable. So you're trying to be, like somebody else. You don't have even time to know who you are. You're not unlovable. Everybody is worth love. Okay? But here is the key ingredient. Okay? You have to learn how to be independent on your own. You cannot depend on another person to validate your feelings, honey. It's your life. It's your life. You can't ask a group of people to validate who you are. You understand? You need to breathe. You need to breathe and you need to start taking some of your power back instead of letting somebody treat you like a victim. It is your body. It's your body. It's your body. You can say no. Okay? It's your movements. You can say no. It's your mind. You can decide to heal. You have to desire it. You have to want it because look at this. Look at this. I don't know why I'm holding it up like this, but too soon. You trying to jump in too soon. You trying to jump in too soon. You got to get to know the person that you're with, okay? And then here you are losing yourself, losing yourself, losing yourself. But this card was upside down and now it's right side up. Find yourself. Find yourself. Can't find yourself in another person. You know, and that's why these people, they have these mistaken identities. I'm not saying that to sound, I know the way that I sound is, you know, I come off, I'm very, very honest. I'm very, very honest. God bless the child that has his own. Okay? You you you're hiding these feelings. You're afraid to 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 express how you feel to the one you love, and you wait to see how they feel in return. Communication is very much needed. That's the only way you know. You got to ask questions. And you have to learn how to read people because some people are great liars, okay? But you're lying to yourself as well. You're lying to yourself as well. You're burning yourself out. You got all these things going on, and or the person, either you do or the person that you're with, got all this stuff going on. Got all this, stuff going on. Looking outside of yourself for love, looking outside of yourself for somebody to, tell you that you're beautiful, looking outside of yourself. This is a lot of things that have to be healed. Okay. And if you are that parent, if I'm talking to the parent, or the parent is listening to me that's holding that child back, you need to get yourself together. It's time to grow up. Okay? It's time to grow up. We got to quit that stinking thinking. That stinking thinking. That stinking thinking. Okay? That stinking thinking. Like, people got stinking thoughts going on. I'm her, I'm him, I'm this, I'm that, I'm that, I'm that. You are nobody but yourself. And if you don't know who you are, you better start doing some inventory, self inventory. And self inventory means self. It doesn't mean copycat self. That's not who you are. You cannot be another person. You understand? Now, here it is. Now, the person that I am speaking to, okay? The person I'm speaking to, honey, the person I'm speaking to got a fear of loneliness. You stay in a bad thing because you're afraid to be alone. You're afraid to be alone. You're scared to be alone. But you are already alone. Do you understand? You're scared to be alone, but you're already alone. You got this pent up anger because you're tired. You're burnt out. You're burnt out. All right? You're burnt out, but you're burnt out. This is coming from, this is for my it's not for the narcissist, okay? The narcissist is burning you out, causing you doubt. Don't want you to be you. That's why you don't know who you are. Because the narcissist is sitting on your back. That's a no-no, honey. And for you who think that you can change them, you can't change someone. You have to accept them for who they are or move on, okay? If this person is nonchalant, if this person is hiding, hiding their feelings, if this person, sometimes if you have rejection issues, the biggest way to get around rejection issues, you know what I mean? Go get some job interviews that you're unqualified for. Dare yourself to hear the no. Okay, and then go home and see how you're feeling and write that stuff down. Write it down. Write it down. Okay? Write it down. And then go and, go get another job interview. You know what? Get some you ain't qualified for, but just do it. All right? And then hear the no. All right? And then go home and write it down. Write how you feel. You got to do this at least 4 times, okay? Make sure the job interviews you get are you unqualified for. They unqualified to even have you work for them, okay? I'm telling you, this is how you get over rejection issues. You got to hear the word no. 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 And you have to sit in the feeling of that pain. You have to sit in the feeling of that fear. But you have to do things that are safe. First of all, safe. Job interviews are safe. Okay? Because if you have rejection issues, you just don't want to hear no. You just don't like the word no. You just scared. You understand? You got to go in positions where you're going to hear the word no. Okay? And then When you start writing how you feel, then you sit in that feeling. And then you take each and every single pain, because that pain is repressed. It's repressed. It is definitely, it's repressed. It's pent up. It's pent up. It's there. It's inside, because you're in the bubble. You want to stay in the bubble. You want to be in the bubble. No, you cannot live your life in a bubble. You are not the boy who lived in a bubble. You don't want to be that boy in the bubble. That's a movie. You want to learn how to heal those issues, how to heal those problems. You got to go in situations where you hear no, let it sit and then write it down. Write it down. I feel, because you are hiding your feelings. Your feelings. Your feelings matter. Your feelings matter, okay? They matter. And let me tell you something. Because you are afraid of rejection, you want to be needy. You want to be with the person that is just want sex when you want something else, but you don't want to open your mouth to your own self. You got to open your mouth, honey. All right? You can't just stay with someone who isn't right for you just because you're used to it and comfortably uncomfortable and you feel safe. As if you can't be a victim by yourself. As if you can't give yourself what you already do, double-handed compliments. As if you can't you can't you can't you can't uh you can't have anxiety all by yourself. you can't you can't you can't get burnt out all by yourself. Let me see something. Who am I talking to? 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 Because this is, oh, it's the eye candy. The eye candy. They got so used to calling you eye candy that they forgot that there's something inside. You forgot that there was something inside. But you got to remember that lust is not love. Lust is not love. And that is something that you must face. You must face. But because you have a fear of being alone, because you feel unlovable, because you have pent up anger, because you are afraid of rejection, because you're used to tolerating the abuse, because you jumped in it too soon.